Hi, my name is Tamara, and you are watching Things Even a Monkey Should Know. Thanks so much for watching again today. As you know, if you've watched some of my other videos, I'm not a professional at this do-it-yourself stuff. I'm just a girl who's figured out that there are a lot of things around the house and out in the yard and on my cars that I can do myself and save a good bit of money and often even some time too, believe it or not. So I like sharing those things with you, and I hope that you have benefited too. So today I'm going to be doing some things that I would actually categorize as spring cleaning, except that several of them are things that you should probably do more than once a year. But a few of the things that we'll be looking at today are going to be cleaning the vents in front of your refrigerator, pulling your fridge out, cleaning behind it, cleaning door tracks if you have a sliding door, cleaning the motors on your TV, indeed that needs to be cleaned, and on your computer, I shouldn't say motors, but you know, the ventilation. Cleaning fans, we're going to change your AC filter. I actually am appalled at how many people do not regularly change their AC filters. And a couple of other things that I can't remember off the top of my head right now. So whether you live in a house that you own or even an apartment, and I know in an apartment part of the deal is, well, there's not supposed to be any maintenance. Well, something as simple as changing your air conditioning filter, not only can it help reduce your allergies, but it can also, excuse me, help reduce your electric bill. And it can help you keep from having a landlord who is super annoyed with you when your AC goes out because the filter is clogged. Among other things, again. So I guess that's all I have to say to start out, so let's just get started. So before I go over the things that we're going to need today, which actually there's not very many, I just want to say, I know that to some of you this is probably going to be old hat. Ha, that's such a silly expression. But there are actually a lot of people that I've found that don't do some of the maintenance on things that could just help them to last longer, and so that's what we're here to do today, and also for me to show you that it really doesn't take that long to do stuff. And I'm doing my best to make everything as easy as possible, because I know for me, if cleaning isn't made easy, then I'm not going to do it. So let's start with like the first one, which is a duster on the end of an extension pole, which I did not know that these existed or that they even cost as little as they do. So I'm going to be dusting up around the top edge in the corner of my ceiling today, because that actually gets a lot of dust and cobwebs and spiders and stuff up there. And normally I would get up on a ladder and go around, you know, with a short little duster, and then I discovered these wonderful extension poles. For a 12-foot extension pole, it was $20, which I think is well worth it, because I can use it indoors and out, and it's also light enough that I can heft it easily and use it. And it's important to keep those spider webs and cobwebs clean out of the corners of your house, because, well, or your apartment, because for one thing, they just look gross, and for another thing, you don't want spiders being harbored in your home, because they do crawl on you in your sleep. And I think it's estimated that people eat like 7 spiders a year in their sleep, which is totally gross. But also they can bite you, and it's just, you know, the fewer insects and things and arachnids that you have in your house, the better. Okay, so there's that. You're going to need a new air filter. So you'll need to know where your return air vent is what that means. And we'll be going over that a little bit more in a little while, but to find the size on your filter, it's always going to be printed on the side of the filter. So you can just find that size and then go into the store and find the appropriate one for you. And I like to get the ones that, I can't remember the number now, but they have a high HEPA rating for allergies and dust and things like that, because I actually live in a very dusty area. You may need a dry lubricant. That will be for your sliding glass door if you have one. It may not need lubing, but if you decide to use a lubricant, you'd want to use a dry lube on it. I know you're thinking, why not WD-40? WD-40 is a wet lubricant, which means that you're going to clean up your door, and then you're going to put WD-40 down, and then it's just going to reattract all the dirt and the junk that was just in there, because that's what it does. It holds, I mean, it's great for certain things, but it does hold on to dust and dirt, and whenever you have a horizontal surface, you really don't want to use WD-40 on it. There's also a type of lubricant called graphite lubricant, which again is a very good lubricant, but it will get everywhere because it is graphite. That's all it is, pretty much. And so you wind up with it all over your hands and your clothes and your feet and all in your house. And so this is the best one that I've found so far. You will probably want to have a little rag towel and a cleaner and possibly some paper towels. You will need to have a vacuum cleaner of some sort. I like to use my shop vac because it's the strongest. And depending on the height of your fans and TV and everything, you may need to have a ladder. And I'd really hoped, or a step ladder at least, I really hoped to not use ladder today because, like I said, I'm all about making things as simple as possible, but my TV is actually hung from the ceiling, so I can't get to it to clean it unless I actually get up on a ladder. So, and of course, to get on up and clean the fans too. I think that's all that we're going to need today, so I guess let's just get to it. Hey guys, so if you've watched very many of my videos yet, then you already know that I'm kind of all for doing the worst thing first. The worst thing, in my opinion, is going to be the fridge because it's going to have to be moved out and all that, even though it's really not that bad. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take the grill off the front of it, and because you want to be able to get as much of the dust out of there as possible, and most of them just pop off. Unfortunately, well, or whatever, mine actually has 2 screws, and so you just unscrew them, get it off like, well, it should just pop right off now. But whenever you do, here we go, you don't want to actually mess with any of the lines or anything down here, but your goal is to be able to get to the mess that gets sucked up into the front of your fridge, which is going to happen over time every year because no matter how clean you are, you're going to have dusty stuff happen. So let's go ahead and do that. So for those of you that don't know and are thinking, oh, you nut, are you really going to get back there and vacuum out behind your fridge? Yes, I am, because the wonderful thing is that refrigerators actually have little rollers that they are on. And so if you just start working it out, asking it nicely, talking to it, hopefully yours won't be in quite as tight of a spot as mine is, and you can actually get it to come out. And as you can see, there's only one of me. I'm not a huge muscular person, but I am able to get my fridge out. Okay, so I'll come around from the other way. So now, as you can see, I can actually get in here and I can, whoops, I didn't unload it either, by the way. And now I can get back in here and I can vacuum everything out, clean the walls, do whatever I need to. So let's do that. Okay, so normally I would have let you watch me do this, but as I found, you couldn't really see anything because I could not get me plus camera plus vacuum back into this tiny spot through here. And so now you know it's easy to get a fridge out. I'll go ahead and shove it back in there. Yours should be easier to do than that. Mine, there is no clearance on either side, so it makes it a little harder. Okay, so number one, the big one, was the fridge. And so since we already have the vacuum cleaner out, I'm going to go ahead and clean out the track on my door. If you have a sliding glass door, it's really important to keep these tracks cleaned out because it'll keep your door rolling a lot better. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to vacuum it out first, and I've got paper towels and a cleaner. And I'm going to make sure that I just get all of the dirt and the junk out of here. So. So this is the point at which I would go ahead and put on my lubricant. So I'm just going to give this a really nice coating on the inside. It already slides much better just because I cleaned it. I'm going to give it another coating here on the outside. And again, it's a dry lubricant, so it is not going to create a sticky mass of dirt like the WD-40 and other wonderful lubricants such as that would do. Since we are kind of on a roll using the vacuum cleaner right now, this would be the point where if you have a desktop computer, not a laptop so much, but a desktop computer or a tower, you know, the towers that sit on the floor, you'd want to go ahead and vacuum off the back part of that, because those fans get very dusty and they can get clogged, which can make your computer overheat, which can make it crash and crater. And also, if you have a flat panel TV, these are basically like a computer monitor, and a lot of them now have, you know, a pretty major computer system inside of them. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this around, and I don't know if you can see, but I'm ashamed actually at how dusty the back is. And this is not a case where you want to spray a cleaner on it. This is much more, you need to vacuum it so that you can suck out any dust that happens to have gotten inside the grates. But it's really important to keep these things clean so that they don't overheat. So let's just go ahead and do that. Wardrobe change, no? Just kidding. So as I was working on editing this week's segment, I realized that it was getting a little bit longer than I normally like to have my videos. I try to keep them around 10 minutes. I know sometimes I do not succeed in that, but I do try. So I'm going to chop this one in half, and even though things don't take that long, it seems that I like to talk a lot, and so it makes it take longer than it seems. So we're going to stop here with having cleaned the fridge, the door tracks, and your computer and back of your TV. And next week we'll continue on with the next segment. So thanks very much for joining me today. I hope that you'll watch next week's segment too. And if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe. There's a tiny button up in the corner up there. And I hope to see you again soon. And I know that I'll be here next week, so I hope you will be too.